Hey everyone, in this video we're going to cover the descent of testicles in an embryo. We're going to talk about some of the basic organs in there, and let's just go ahead and get started. So number one is going to be the kidney, and number two, that's going to be the scrotum. Number three, we have this peritoneum, which is going to be the deepest layer in that abdominal wall that we talked about. Number four is going to be the testicle itself. And I wrote in 11 in my textbook, and that's going to be the epididymis. And we can see that it's right there, attached right to the testicle. Number five is what's called the gubernaculum. And this is a fibrous tract that runs from the testicle to the scrotum. And this is what the testicle follows as it starts to make its way down into the scrotum towards the end of the pregnancy. Number six, it runs from the epididymis. It's also part of your vas deferens, is what it's called. But this picture is just depicting both the vas deferens and what's called your venelle, or in other words, your vein, your artery, your nerve, and your lymph system, all wrapped into one. So it's running right there. Number seven, we'll talk about here in a second. So let's look at the two top pictures right here. So we have the 8th week of pregnancy. This is what is going on right here. We can see that the testicle is still inside the abdominal cavity. At the 11th week of the pregnancy, we can see that they have developed more, and we can see the movement on that gubernaculum, but it hasn't quite gone the descent right into the scrotum. As we move along, we need to scratch this out, and this is actually going to be the 7th month pregnancy. As we're looking at this, let's go ahead and finish numbering everything. Number 7 and 8, just like we saw in the lungs, as we saw in the heart with the peritoneum, we're going to see right here a similar pattern. We're going to see a visceral layer and a parietal layer of peritoneum. So number 7, it's going to be this layer which is closer to the outside of the casing of that testicle, and this is going to be what's called process vaginalis. So this is your parietal layer of the peritoneum, while 8 is sitting right on top of the testicle. It's this layer that encases all of this right here, sits right on top, and this is tunica vaginalis. Number 9, that's going to be your urinary bladder sitting right here, and 10 is going to be the penis. So at the 7th month of pregnancy, we are going to see the descent of the testicle from the abdominal cavity into the pelvis. It's going to drop down in, I guess you could say, underneath the arcuate line, but you see that it starts to drop, and we have this inguinal canal, and the testes will begin to pass through the inguinal canal, and it takes 3 days for it to transverse through that inguinal canal. After that, we have this period of 4 weeks later where it has made the descent down the gubernaculum, and the testicles are in the scrotum. So that's all the information that I have on this page. Depending on your professor for the lecture part, they can test you on which parts of the pregnancy, on where the testes are located. They can test you on the layers that are surrounding it, and so I would just work on that information and getting that down, and we'll start to cover more of the male anatomy in a couple of the videos coming forward, and we'll see you then.
All right, I just want to give credit where credit is due. These are the books and the resources I used for the videos. So first we have Essentials of Human Anatomy by Dr. Kurt Walker. We then have Essential Clinical Anatomy by Keith L. Moore and M.R. Auger and Arthur F. Daly. I also used Structure and Function of the Human Body by Mark Nilsson and Jamie Garbett. The last book I have is The Concise Book of Trigger Points by Simon Neil Asher. And then I used the app called Complete Anatomy. As you've seen from the videos, it's amazing. If you can afford it, I suggest it. It's such a useful tool when learning this stuff. So that's it. Have a good day.